Welcome to the Heat Beat podcast post-game show. Not with me today is Giancarlo Navas because today is his birthday. And because it's his birthday, he was at the Heat game. Why are we playing the intro again?
I don't know why I played again.
Anyways.
We're like the Heat's offense.
Yeah. We're still struggling in the second half of the show. And the first half. With me today, we got our what should I introduce you as, Alf? Because I don't know if I should call you former Hangover Time host or
just call me disgruntled Heat fan.
Okay, I like that. I feel like that could be all of us, though.
Call me fan of the Heat's new offense. Woo! Call
Duncan
me
Robinson Stan. Alf 954.
Call me unfooled by Bam taking 18 threes per game in the preseason. Call me whatever. Call me unimpressed by this fucking starting unit. And I mean, I think we've been screaming it. But anyway, listen, we'll get to all that.
I like your shirt, by the way. Wanted to point that out. You can get that at MHB.com, I think. So I don't know if that's still active or not. We'll see. Also with me today, Saucy Takes. How you doing, Coach?
I mean, half of me is really excited. The other half of me is down bad.
So is your sign. Your sign's also really sad.
No, it's gonna be. I mean, does it deserve to be lit today?
Maybe
for the tank.
Don't let it up.
But it's too soon.
We have to do that later in the show. We gotta run the tankathon simulation. We'll work on that later. And then also with me today, making his first appearance for the season on the postgame show is our intern.
What's
Pablo.
up, guys?
What's up?
I think I'm going to be intern for the rest of my life, but I'll gladly accept that role of intern.
I like it. All right. Well, we're doing a postgame show after the Heat lose to the New York Knicks at home. What's their fourth game of the season? So they're now record-wise 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll start off around the room. We'll start with Alf. Takeaways, at least from this game. The Heat had a lead, going to the second half. Then they had a third quarter, and then things kind of just unraveled in the fourth as they tried to make some sort of comeback, but it was kind of too late at the end. What did you take away just from what you were able to watch from the game? Because honestly, that was kind of a tough one to watch anyway.
Well, listen, even in their 2 wins, people were saying online and on Twitter that I was being negative because I was like, listen, this starting lineup ain't it. Because when we've lost games, it's been in the third quarter, and the games we've almost lost have been because of the third quarter. And what happens every third quarter? The starting lineup comes back in. The starting lineup is the second worst 5-man unit on the entire team through 3 games. And yes, small sample size, but it is just a extension of what happened last year.
Yeah.
This unit has never been good, right? And we said it all summer, this is not it. Please, for the love of God, do not roll a lineup out of uninterested Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, 3 guys who couldn't fucking guard a paper bag, right? And all a bunch of guys who need the ball to be successful. There are no role players in that starting lineup, and that is the biggest problem. There are just 5 guys who need the ball to be effective. So when one guy has the ball, the other 4 guys are doing nothing. They're not cutting. They're not screening. Only Bam is screening. The rest of these guys can't screen worth a fuck. I'm sorry, this. So now you have Terry and Tyler taking turns. You have Jovic, who really has no role with those guys out there because he's not handling the ball. They have 3 other guys that are ball handling. Jimmy standing around watching. It's just, and then nobody gets the ball to Bam. Bam is completely out of sync. He is just not involved in the offense whatsoever. So yeah, we can parse a lot of different things, and a lot of people say it doesn't matter who starts and who finishes. It does matter how you start the third quarter. It does matter how you start games. And then look at tonight. Of course, another third quarter. They got back into the game in the fourth quarter. What happened? Does anybody remember what happened when it just slipped away again? We took out Jaime Jaquez and we put Jovic in and went back to the starting unit. And guess what? They pissed the fucking game away. They cannot play together. And I'm not blaming any singular person. What I'm saying is Bam and Jimmy have to start. But you cannot roll out Hero, Rozier, and Jovic in the same lineup and expect to stop anybody. You are not stopping shit. You couldn't stop me, right? Like, we were just watching Jalen Brunson just skate on past Terry Rozier. And Terry Rozier, I don't know if you need some new shoes or something, bro. Why are you fucking slipping and sliding all over the court? Why are you the most chaotic, fucking uncoordinated dude I've seen since Dion Waiters? The energy is chaotic. The vibes are so fucking off. Like, it's fucking killing me inside. Like, and then I just watching Jovic be completely ineffective. But when you put Jovic in with the backups, oh shit, we start to see flashes of the guy that we've been excited about. Like, to me, it's fucking maddening because it's so obvious. And the stubbornness of saying that these are our starters and they have to be our starters and these are our guys. We paid Terry, we paid Tyler, we paid it. Like, what are we doing? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense on paper. It hasn't made sense in action. It hasn't made sense in the preseason. It makes sense last year, and it's certainly not fucking making sense this year. It is not small sample size theater. We have seen, first of all, we've already seen Tyler, Bam, and Jimmy are not the best, grouping in the world. But listen, okay, you got to start those guys. You got to start those guys. Complement them with role players. Complement them with guys who are going to do something without the ball in the hand. The Duncans, the Haywoods. Like, why Haywood isn't starting boggles my mind. You need defense. Mm-hmm. You need somebody who can play defense, who could spot up and not have to demand the ball to be effective. Like, but yeah. No, but we'll roll the same bullshit out next game and hope for a different fucking outcome.
To your point, Alf, the Heat did have a 13-point lead with 8:20 left in the third quarter. The Knicks closed that period on a 30-10 run. So while I think we could say, yeah, the starters were an issue, and the third quarter still was overall a failure. That unit did actually get them up to 13, and then obviously they lost the lead pretty quickly right after. So,
okay, so there's people.
I'm just throwing that out there.
There's people in the comments saying things like Jaime had a bad game. Haywood can't score. Guys, stop worrying about fucking scoring all the time. Start actually watching basketball and worry about fit. Worry about what happens when these guys are on the floor. Duncan has been a positive all season, despite not being able to hit a fucking shot to save his life. Haywood was the best player on the floor last game.
He didn't play tonight.
Haywood is the reason they won last game. Jaime was, I think, the only positive plus-minus guy on the team. Stop fucking worrying about scoring, because Scary Terry's their leading scorer this year, and he's shit. Oh, he's scoring. Stop worrying about scoring. Watch the fucking game. Watch how people fit together. Like, the shit just doesn't work. And you can just keep we put 5 guys who can score, and you still have the worst fucking offense in the league. You have 5 offensive players on the floor, and they cannot score. What does that fucking say? Who gives a shit about scoring points? What do they do for the other guys on the floor? How do they look at the spacing with the starting lineup? All right, look at the fucking spacing. It's shit. It's horrible. But we're worried about who's scoring or not. It's not about who's scoring. It doesn't matter. It's the fit. It's the way these guys play basketball. It's a team sport. You can have 5 guys out there scoring 20, and you will still lose.
Yeah. Lou, let's kind of pickle back on some of the stuff that Al's talking back. Obviously, this game, a large part of why the Knicks won was because of Karl Anthony Towns. He did go off for his best game as a New York Knicks so far to start the season. Shot 17 of 25, 4 for 5 from 3. Had 13 rebounds and 44 points to finish the night. I guess talk about his impact on the night overall, and then maybe talk a little bit about what Tyler Hero showed, because I think he was a big part of why the Heat had the lead to really go into that beginning part of the third period, but then obviously the offense quickly went on a scoring drought, which typically happens with this team. I think that's part of the reason why the third quarters are the way they are. They can start off hot, and then quickly after they just kind of can't find a bucket. the other team starts, getting turnovers and whatnot. And yeah, that just ends up being the momentum killer for them overall.
No, yeah. Like starting off with Tyler, like he deserves no blame for today. In my opinion, this is the best 4-game sample size I have personally ever seen out of Tyler Hero. I don't give a fuck what the stats tell me. I'm telling you what my eyes are telling me. And he deserves credit. Why does he deserve credit? Because he has completely changed his fucking game to make this starting lineup work. If you were to tell me that Tyler was going to play like this, I would have thought this starting lineup had a chance offensively. They still suck offensively. It's not a Tyler issue. It's
a fitting issue.
Okay, I'm gonna say it's a Terry issue. It is a fucking Terry Rozier issue. And you know what? The biggest issue isn't even Terry Rozier. The biggest issue is your best player in Jimmy Butler does not get utilized in this starting 5. Why? Because we have Tyler, because we have Terry, because we have Bam, because we have Nico. Jimmy is damn near a 4th, 5th option on this offense. So to Alf's fucking point, the whole reason why I was joking around and saying I probably meant it a little bit, but you start somebody like fucking Pell Larson or just fucking Haywood Highsmith, which is the easiest one, is because he just knows, hey, look, it forces Jimmy to be Jimmy. The Heat suck when Jimmy is forced to be not Jimmy. When Jimmy is whatever the fuck we saw against Orlando, whatever the fuck we've seen today, whatever the fuck we see at the start of the third quarters, where Jimmy Butler is legitimately never involved in any offensive fucking set up until here comes the sub. Up until then, as soon as he gets subbed in or subbed out and he has his own unit, there's a reason the second units work, guys. It's because Jimmy Butler runs them. Why are we giving Terry Rozier his own fucking unit? I'm calling him dribble Terry because holy fuck, it takes him 17 seconds to get down the court and just initiate some kind of offense. And by the way, the deepest, I don't know how he gets these fucking looks around the rim. It's truly impressive. What's more impressive is he never fucking makes them. I have yet to see him make one of these fancy layups. He made one today, and my dad was like, whoa. I was like, he must have missed the other 16. Terry's finishing needs to be studied. If we thought Justice Winslow could not, if we thought Dion Waiters could not finish, boy, were we wrong.
I'm telling you, I've been saying, and listen, it's not that I hate Terry Rozier. I do hate the fact that we traded an expiring contract for him.
First pick.
And a first-round pick.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that shit. But whatever, he's a nice player, right?
Sure.
But he's literally Dion Waiters with better fucking public relations. That's all it fucking is. It really is all it fucking is. Like, I'm watching him. He looks like Dion at times. Like, his movements are like Dion at times. And then at least Dion fucking locked in on sometimes on defense. Terry got to be one of the worst defenders I've ever seen. Like, it is like I'm telling you, the vibes are so fucking chaotic. Like, and the thing is, like, he gets himself out of position and he's not even gambling for a steal.
He's Dion without the
gummies.
I can confirm. Terry does the gummies, boys.
Okay, well,
Terry does the gummies.
Said, better PR. But
I can confirm.
He puts himself out of position, and not even from trying to go for steals. Just on regular plays, just completely out of position. Like, he sees a screen coming, and I mean, I don't know where this motherfucker goes. Like, he's halfway down the court. I just don't even understand. Just completely out of position. Guys are blowing past him, and there's no fucking way that can happen. Like, you look at our guards when they try to penetrate on offense. Somebody's got their chest open, body to body. It's a struggle. We're fighting. We're trying to put. Other teams are just blowing past our guards, and I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna get on Tyler because at least he's attempting defense. I don't know what this Ole bullshit that Terry's doing half the time. And there's other thing is, like, I just don't want to pile on Terry. My bigger problem is the fact that we're not putting any of these guys in a position to succeed. Like, if you want to play Terry and Tyler together, fine, but you know they're a defensive liability. So what do you do at the power forward spot? You roll out Jovic?
And like you said, I have no issue with Jovic. I have no issue with Jovic alongside Jimmy and Bam. That was their best trio last year in terms of net rating. The issue is you can't put those two guards and Jovic around them. That's the issue, because as good as Jovic, as improved as he is defensively, he's not a point of attack defender. And neither is Terry or Tyler. And at this stage of his career, neither should Jimmy Butler be. Exactly.
Who's our best wing defender?
It's Haywood Highsmith.
See, like to me,
He's our only wing defender, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
he's
But-
and like even I mean
Maybe
Jaime,
Kashad Johnson.
Jaime tries, but he's not.
We'll see.
No, Jaime does the turnstile thing too at times. It's just the defense on this team is a real issue, and the starters don't need offense. Like they don't need somebody else to take the. We have the offense is the problem is there's too much offense and there's too many ball stoppers. The only connective piece in that starting lineup is Nikola Jovic. He's the only one who's like, okay, swing here. Okay, swing here. Terry doesn't do it. Tyler's done it. I'll give Tyler so much credit. He's done a much better job of driving and cooking. His actual floor game looks so much better and very improved. But still, it's just too much dribbling from Terry. It takes too long for them to get into their sets. We can't get to the rim. Today, we didn't get to the rim whatsoever. When we get there, it's Terry. So good job. He got there and, hits a 35% shot that it's going to go in. Like at that point, just fucking take a three. Like it's just looking nasty.
If it was me, it would be Tyler, Jimmy. I would put Jimmy at the 2, make him handle the ball. Like honestly, he's the only guy on our team that could beat a full court press. Sadly,
get him some usage.
Get him some usage. Like get him involved. Put Haywood at the 3, Jovic and Bam. That's who I would start.
I
that
agree.
gives you 3 really good defenders. And puts the onus on Jimmy, and it gives Jovic some more ball handling, playmaking responsibilities. Hopefully that gets Bam involved a little bit more. So and then rotate it from there. Put Duncan and Bam on the floor more together. I think they played 3 minutes the entire season together coming into this game. We know that they play well off of each other. I mean, just give these guys an opportunity to succeed, because right now that's not what's happening. And then, a lot of people want us to talk about Bam. Let me explain something to Bam. You want Depoy? You better hope they burn this fucking tape. You want Depoy, and you just like someone said, they let that soft.
Let's talk about that. No, but let's seriously talk about that, because I feel like what we've seen out of Bam this season is very uncharacteristic of what we've seen from him defensively over the course of his career. Like this, to me, has been like his worst defensive season to start off the season. I know he has slow, at least offensive starts, but now we're seeing it on both ends of the floor, and that to me is just like we haven't seen this from him ever. I feel like to ever start a season like. Him being bad on both ends, like you can't have that. You're paying this guy pretty much near max money. So let's talk about like what Bam needs to do better, because I think what we're seeing overall is really affecting the team on both ends of the floor, and we can't have that from what should be your second best player.
I think why Bam is struggling on defense is also because of the people surrounding him.
Okay, so we're kind of going back to what we're talking about earlier with the starting lineup.
Bam has always been a really good help defender. He plays on ball when he has to, but he's always roaming. He's at his best when he's roaming around the rim, trying to protect it. I don't think he's really been able to do that. I mean, against a floor spreader like Cat, he's always going to be around the perimeter, because Cat is one of the best 3-point shooters for a big man of all time. But when we're playing Jalen Duren like against the Pistons, he has no reason to be fouling. He has no reason to play outside in the perimeter. Just stick on Duren. But when you have Terry, Hero, Jovic, he has to switch. He has to guard guards. He has to go around and guard the whole floor, because how is he gonna just guard Duren? He has no one to help him.
Pablo, I'm sorry. I agree that they're not doing Bam any favors, putting him out there with those 3 guys and an uninterested Jimmy, right? But some people in the comments are also saying he was getting cooked one-on-one too. Like he stood Cat up a couple times, but it's rare you see a motherfucker do that shit to Bam. Like that's a Jokic thing, and not just about nobody else. So, and this is not the first game where Bam just looks a step slow defensively. What I'm seeing is
defensively and also rebounding position wise, because I think that's also a big part of the reason why
huge problem.
This is also being an issue. Like they're giving him a lot of second chance points. I know rebounding wise today wasn't as bad as it was in previous games. But overall, like the rebounding has been an issue with this team.
It's been a huge issue, and it just there's no physicality, and so that's one of the biggest things. Like nobody's being physical, and that's kind of why I do like when Haywood's out there. Haywood doesn't know no better. Yeah. Haywood just be flinging his body around, just trying to whatever he has to do, and that's kind of even like why Jaime is not a great defender. I like his energy out there. Like you need a little bit of that, and for the most, and like even like tonight, Drew Smith. I had to apologize to Thomas Bryant when he was, out here stroking from three. But the physicality has been a problem. And what I'm seeing from Bam on offense and on defense is almost like he does not know where to be. He does not know what his where he belongs in either the offense or the defense. There are times where Bam, I've seen guys flying to the rim, and Bam is second guessing whether he should help or stay. I've never seen that from Bam. Used to know what to do, and now to Pablo's point, lately when he goes to help, no one has his back. Like we're seeing a lot of putback, offensive putbacks, offensive rebounds because Bam has gone to help, and nobody's sliding over to cover his man. Maybe that's because he just has he has 4 guys uninterested in playing defense next to him. I'm not giving Bam a pass because I think overall his just defensive effort has been piss poor. But I do think some of it is just there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of confusion out there with some of these units where they don't know. But then like the second unit comes in and everyone seems to fucking fall in line. So I just feel like there's confusion with Bam where his fit in, where he fits, what his responsibilities are, which is really sad to say. 6 years with Spo, like at this point, what is it, 7 years now that
this is 8th season.
We're trying to figure new shit out. Like,
yeah.
I mean, but I'm not giving Bam a pass. Like you talk depoy all summer, you just got fucking cooked.
Yeah, by Cat of all people
by
too.
A fucking goofball. Like, listen, I hate the Knicks
and flexing on him too. Like
flexing.
Where's the passion from like just in general, like this team? Like, where was all this preseason hype? All this, like, I don't know if you guys remember, they put out a clip of the second unit beating the starters in a scrimmage. No shit. No shit.
There's no grit.
If Kevin Love was out there, they are frying these starters. Like, what are we doing?
There's no grit. There's no grit with the team compared to last season. We were always really good at making other teams suck on offense because we were really good on defense. Our offense has always been an issue, but we made up with it on defense. Our offense sucks right now, and our defense sucks. So, how the fuck are we going to win games like that?
You know what I think it is? You know what?
Amazing, we're 500 already. So.
Oh, I mean, it happens when you play the fucking
Detroit
Pistons and the Charlotte Hornets. Like, come on, guys. Like the thing says same old song. Like we've seen this shit before. Like this is nothing new. But I think just in general, like Bam's defense isn't good, but Bam's always been a lot better when he's had somebody next to him, particularly at that 4 spot. And this is no knock on Jovic, just this isn't his game, or 2 other guys that are just physically imposing for their position, whether that was PJ Tucker, whether that was Jay Crowder,
Anthony Davis. Yeah, I know Anthony Davis would be pretty nice.
Anthony Davis. But like when it's these kind of bigger body guys, whether it is, even if it's a small ball forward, but they're typically more wide body and more physical, and they can help him, and he knows that when he rotates, he has help behind him. He's just freer. Like Alf said, he's second guessing everything. In the last 2 games, I've seen Bam allow more layups while he's been in position because it felt like he was just scared to commit and give up a rebound than I've ever seen before, man. Like they need to figure this shit out. And it's sad that this team has been together for this long and these issues still exist. The issue shouldn't be in the X's and O's anymore. It should not be.
So wait, one thing. Chat's going to get mad at me for this. Or what, G's going to love it. G, happy birthday for this one. But you know who else used to switch on the bigs when Bam had to go guard the perimeter and did a damn good job? Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry always had Bam's back when he had to switch out. Kyle Lowry was boxing out 7-footers using his fat ass. Terry Rozier ain't got that ass.
Nope.
Drew Smith ain't got that ass. Tyler Hero ain't got that ass. Someone's gonna
Drew closer, than the other 2, but
they all got long back.
What kind of ass? We talking like physical or like the other type?
They all got long backs. You can't have a long back trying to box out Cat. It ain't gonna work. So
BB Lowry.
But we have lost.
Big purr.
We have lost. We've lost that. We've lost the PJ Tuckers, the Jay Crowders, the Kyle Lowrys, the guys who would do dirty work. We have a team. We have a starting lineup full of pretty boys, and it's fucking showing.
Mm-hmm. How much do you like? On to Lou's point, on Bam not like committing and stuff. How much do you like blame him and not blame the people around him? Because what if he can't trust, let's say, Terry Rozier to box out? Like we need 3-and-D players on this team. We don't have that outside of Haywood. But Haywood can shoot every now and then, but like we don't have a 3-and-D
No,
player.
but Haywood, Lou, am I wrong? Haywood's a good spot up shooter.
I mean, like the whole reason I like Haywood isn't like, yes, he's a viable spot up shooter. I don't think he's great. He's not otherworldly, but he's good enough. But he's also good around, the baseline cuts, good at the tip outs, the offensive rebound stuff.
Shit.
Yeah, the little shit that they lack now, the little shit Caleb Martin used to provide for you from time to time, whether it was getting these tip outs or getting these along the baseline, getting you an extra possession here. Like the Heat really don't
Having
have
both feet
that.
behind the line, yeah, no, that's also part of it.
Yeah, having both feet behind the line. The Heat really don't have that. And the only person who can provide that, at least right now, who's shown it has been Haywood. I think Pell Larson should get some play because I think he fits exactly what Alf is saying in terms of like just somebody who knows how to play the role. He did it for 4 years at Arizona. I'm going to keep saying this. He won at Arizona a lot because he just played his fucking role. We need these guys to play ultimately. Like, people are calling for Ware. I don't think Thomas Bryant was bad today.
No.
I mean, is his experience great? Absolutely not. I'm not saying anything else. But like he wasn't bad enough to where you had to take him off the floor. Yeah. Bam was bad enough towards where you had to take him off the floor today.
Thomas Bryant was the best center on the Heat tonight.
Yep.
That's pretty sad.
They both had 3 rebounds.
Wait, I will say one thing. Bam was fucking cooking at the beginning of the third quarter. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
6 straight points, putting Cat in foul trouble, dunking, and then he did not touch the ball for like the next 5 game minutes and then went and sat on the bench.
Yeah.
Like that is like, okay. And then, so there's 2 people that no one ever wants to talk bad about. That is on Spo, 1,000%. And then we can also get to Jimmy. But Spo, like there has to be something where you have a 13-point lead. Bam is fucking cooking. And then Terry starts to take fucking bullshit shots. Like Jimmy's taking flat-footed threes. Like we're just we're going away from what's working, and there's nothing. There's nothing from the coaching staff. There's nothing. There's no timeout. There's nothing saying, guys, get it back to Bam. I mean, I'm not talking about Bam had the ball and then gave it away.
No, it didn't even.
Bam didn't touch the fucking ball.
Yeah.
He's like our 4th option.
Bam, maybe some of it. Bam's like, man, well, fuck this. Terry, you gonna let this motherfucker just slide right by you? Good luck.
But Bam doesn't even demand for the ball.
Like, well, now he's a spot-up corner shooter at this point, and it hasn't worked out. He hasn't made a single 3 now 4 games straight. So does that experiment end? Because I feel like that might be part of the solution to this whole offensive issue. Like get him back to being the hub like he was, those first 2 seasons when Jimmy got here, and then they kind of went away with it overall. But part of me feels like that needs to be like some of the offensive juice that they need is just get Bam the ball, have him be the hub because he's so good at it to the point where like they don't even give him any of the options to be a passer because he's one of your best passers on the team.
One of the best playmakers, period.
Yeah.
But Brian, how can he be a hub when you have 4 guys demanding the ball?
Part of it is because they don't run pick and roll anymore, and I think that's also another issue.
Where's Duncan? Where's Duncan when you need him?
How can he be a hub when nobody around him knows how to play without the basketball?
Yep.
Yeah.
No cutting.
What?
No
Hero a little bit.
Well,
we have
Hero
zero
a little bit spot up right now.
Tyler has improved, but still, it's one guy, and nobody else is providing any kind of like. They're not watching for Terry Rozier on backdoors. They're not watching for Tyler on backdoors. Tyler isn't a good cutter. Tyler's good. Tyler's good roaming the perimeter.
Yeah.
Nico's not a good cutter either. That's not his game. He's also
Jimmy can be. He's shown it, but he doesn't. He hasn't. That's also, I think, part of the issue is that Jimmy hasn't
so far that it doesn't matter. He has no lanes to get in there. Like
and Jimmy hasn't shown effort really for most of these games. Like he's kind of like taking a game off, and then the next game he actually shows something. But he's doing it against like the really bad teams to the point where like, are we sure like this is actually like Jimmy from these past few years, or is he just playing really good against these bad teams? And that's kind of hard to tell really at this point because I don't know. I feel like Jimmy looks a little spry sometimes, but then like today, he doesn't really
just
show anything
appears,
until the
just
fourth
to-
quarter. He had 6 points to Cat having 30 points like later in the third quarter. So I just like that to me is like you can't have that if you want to win
But
these games against
is
these good teams, these
are
playoff
we
caliber teams.
are we at the point where we're looking at it and we're seeing that Bam is not involved, Jimmy's not involved? Is this a function of the roster construction at some point, right? And I think it all goes back to what we've been saying over and over again. When you put these guys with second units, when you switch out some of the personnel, they start to look like themselves again.
No, I think it's part of it just being a match against these better
Yeah.
teams. And I think part of it is like it's just a mentality to this point. Like somebody needs to step up besides Hero to give you scoring and defense. You can't just rely on one guy to shoot 12 threes and he was great. He had a great offensive game, but like you can't be the only person that can score for you consistently. You need to have another guy. You got to have a second guy. We never have two guys that go off in the same night.
Nope.
That's never been a thing with this team.
The problem is Terry Rozier is that second guy.
Sadly.
In terms of usage, in terms of shots, he's the second. He has the second most shots on the team. Him and Tyler are 1 and 2.
That's a formula fucking disaster.
But like it's it's ugly. It's true. Like it is what it is. And I think to Brian's point, like Jimmy's shown little glimpses, but the whole thing, like he's 35. Like this is all we're getting. This is all. Like I'm sorry to break it to anybody who thinks we can recapture what he did to the Milwaukee Bucks in that playoff series. That is, and you can clip this shit. That is never coming back. I'm sorry.
It might come back for a game or two in a series.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could come back for a quarter, for maybe even a whole game, but it's not coming back in my opinion for 3-4.
If Jimmy can't play defense for 30 minutes a night anymore, because I'm looking, I mean, he's been beat on so many backdoor cuts this season. It's insane. It didn't happen a lot tonight, but the first 3 games of the season has been happening all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's not that guy anymore defensively.
Nope.
So now it's not just that Bam's out there with 3 bad defenders. He's out there with 4 bad defenders.
That's crazy, man.
Come on, like at some point, like what the fuck, man? Like at some point,
I don't know.
like what in the entire, like if we can all see it, like I feel like everybody in the Miami Heat beat chat was like, please, for the love of God, do not start Terry, Tyler, Jimmy, Jovic, Bam. Please. We're saying it all. And then preseason, it looked okay. And then all of a sudden, your offense looks decent because your offense is predicated on 15 steals a fucking game. Guess what doesn't happen in the regular season? 15 steals a game. That is not the way to base your offense. That hopefully we just keep stealing the ball and getting into passing lanes. Because what happens tonight when the Knicks only have like 9 turnovers? Now we got to figure out how to score in a half-court set. And we can't. We have no spacing. We have nothing, right? Like someone pointed out, listen, I'm not the biggest Alec Burks fan. He didn't play tonight. I mean, the guy's one of your most reliable 3-point shooters in a league that, it's like someone said that someone in the chat was like, oh, we need to start Haywood, Ware, Bam. I'm like, what spacing? Or like what? At some point, modern basketball spacing. Like we have to look at a lineup that fits and makes sense, and we're just not doing it right now. And so, like the frustrating thing for me, right, is I see a decent to above average, pretty good top 3-4 seed team in there, but like I feel like our coaching staff, which is sad to say because that's one of our most reliable things. Our coaching staff is not putting them in a position to be successful. Stubborn. Like we're turning a 4 seed into an 8 seed because we're being stubborn and fucking stupid.
Yeah. And they don't want to hurt feelings when in reality.
Okay, I'm sorry. Someone in the chat said Ware can shoot the 3, Bam will be the screener. Show me.
Where cannot shoot?
Where are you guys?
Neither of them can shoot right now.
That Ware is some fucking high volume stretch 5. He's not Duncan Robinson. Like, what are you talking? Like Bam screening for Ware?
That's
What
insane.
kind of fucking high school offense are you trying to run? That is the
That's
is the worst thing I've. Okay,
That's
anyway,
that's the Rec Runs offense. That's
LA
the LA
fitness ball.
Fitness.
LA
Yeah,
fitness
that's LA
ball.
Fitness ball, man.
Bam screening for where?
Can you imagine Khalil Ware's slow catapult jump shot coming off a screen? Like, come on, man. Like, let's not do this. Like, the issue isn't, like they're shooting threes. The issue
They took 40 tonight.
They took
just
40
and they
tonight,
made 42.5% of them.
and
mostly because of Hero.
You know what's funny? This was their best offensive game in the half court. This was their listen to what they had a 108.2 offensive rating in the half court. You know what the issue was? They gave up 118 points in half court. That shit is ass.
Yeah.
That shit is ass. And they were holding Brunson in check for most of the game.
Yeah, bro. It was Cat that killed us.
It was Cat. It was Adebayo. It was Mikal Bridges. It was just they were breaking our defense down, starting from the top. When the head of the snake, we don't have no head of snake. The head of the snake was on the bench today. It was Haywood Highsmith. He didn't get up.
Yep.
The head of the snake was Drew Smith for a little bit of time. He got 3 blocks, which I don't know why they count those as blocks, but he got 3 of them. 3 of them. I saw him stop 2 fast breaks by himself. 2. I saw him put Jalen Brunson in jail for 2 straight possessions.
Yeah.
The worst possessions Jalen Brunson looked like today were when he was guarded by Drew Smith, and as soon as Terry got onto him,
barbecue chicken.
Barbecue chicken, man.
You know how sad it is to have, like, no offense to Drew Smith, but like him being our best defensive guard when we have players like Hero, Terry, Duncan, because Drew doesn't have offense like that, but he has the defense. So why not play him a little bit more next to these guys? Because he's going to bring point of attack defense compared to the rest of our guards that do not have it. Maybe Hero can get some lane steals around there. He's shown it. But Terry's going to get cooked by any semi-decent quick guard. And
Pablo,
Hero too.
Pablo, I mean, I nothing has ever depressed me more than somebody saying, why can't Drew Smith play more?
I mean, bro.
Did
he not play enough? I feel like he played enough.
I mean, at the point we're
he played
Listen,
enough.
and I apologize to him, but that's enough. Honestly, it's a little bit too much. A good team, Drew
16
Smith
minutes is a lot.
A good team, Drew Smith would never see the floor.
But that's what I'm saying.
A proper rotation, Drew Smith should never see the floor.
But where did we don't have a point of attack defender within our guards outside of Drew Smith.
Well, they gave 16 minutes to Drew Smith when they probably should have given 16 minutes to Haywood, but
yeah, that too.
More than 16 to be honest. Let's pivot to something else. I think the chat's been talking a lot about it, to be honest, but so they're talking about Jimmy, obviously. You're talking about where I guess any of the other guys are on the team that you would like to see play more? Because I feel like what we're seeing right now is that this team has a lot of guys that need to play. And I feel like that's the issue also with this team is they didn't play Haywood. Kevin Love has been out for personal reasons. He's going to get some playing time at some point. We talked about Alec Burks. He didn't play. And Josh Richardson might be coming back pretty soon in a few games.
He don't need to play.
Well,
I don't know. I think this whole thing, they're so deep. They have so many guys they need. No, they don't.
You know what it is, Alf? They have a lot of guys that are the same
because that's what they did to
them. They have a lot of similar motherfuckers. So you're like, when one isn't playing well, let's bring
we could and
this motherfucker.
And they're not wrong, but to answer Brian's question, the person, first of all, Alec Burks should have played at least a little bit today. I wholeheartedly agree. He's just a veteran. He gives
but if he plays, then you're not getting minutes from guys like for sure Drew Smith. He's playing.
No,
probably getting less minutes from Duncan. He only played 14 minutes tonight.
Duncan hasn't been hitting.
That's fine.
Okay.
But the real answer,
Larson's not playing. I know
it's got to be Larson. The real answer has got to be Larson. And I don't give a fuck how obnoxious I sound. I don't give a fuck how stupid I sound because this guy is a rookie. I don't care. Like nobody else plays defense on this team. Like we're hyping up and rightfully so Haywood Highsmith for knowing how to play a role. Just give it to the rookie too. Let him get a chance. I know Drew Smith had a game, but you don't think out of these 16 minutes you could have found maybe a 6-minute
more leches is what the chat is saying.
Yeah, more leches, man. And this is Swiss chocolate. Like this is that
play
Swiss.
All the young guys call up Josh Christopher. He's not even in the Heat right now. He's actually
I hate to keep going back to the starting lineup, but part of the reason that you can't find certain guys time because of because of the starting lineup, because of rotations, right?
Yeah.
If you start Haywood, and let's say you bring a guy like Terry off of the bench, right? You won't need Drew Smith as much as your backup point guard. Terry Rozier will be your backup point guard.
Terry Smith,
what? That might as well be. That gives you room for the Pele Larsons of the world.
Yes.
The Duncan, Jaime, all these guys. Those guys can run that second unit with Terry, and you have Haywood starting in the starting lineup, so you don't need to find Haywood minutes off the bench. You find Terry minutes off the bench, right? Or you find Jovic minutes off the bench. Instead of trying to find, you understand what I'm saying? Like
100%.
It changes everything. Love comes back. Well, we should not see Thomas Bryant anymore unless one of our other centers is injured. I would love to see Khalil Ware get more run than Thomas Bryant. I would absolutely love it because you know what? At least that motherfucker just presents a deterrent at the rim when Bam Adebayo's not in there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not playing this fucking smoke and mirrors defense because you don't really have any real defenders. So you play zone to mask the fact that you don't have a good defense. How about just put a big motherfucker back there and just listen? If you get by us, he's just gonna swat the shit. Like there's like a Khalil Ware at the back of a zone might look really fucking good. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if you change the starters and you bring all these great offensive talents and you mix them up more than throwing them all in the first fucking 7 minutes of the first and third quarter, maybe there will be room for guys like Pele Larson.
Yep. I wholeheartedly agree. And like the whole reason I put same old song is we know what this team is. The only way that this team can get, in my opinion, to that 3-4 seed that Alf is talking about is the young guys need to take a jump. We have to put these young guys in, first of all, and second of all, in positions to try to help this team win.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not doing that. Like and again, this is no disrespect to Drew Smith. He played great today, but he should not be above the pecking order, ahead of like Larson or Highsmith for whatever reason. But it's little things like that I do agree. If you just find Haywood into the starting lineup, then you can have somebody else replace his role for a shorter amount of time if need be. That's fine. But we need some kind of defender on the floor at all times.
But that's the problem. We don't have many good defenders. I mean, we have Haywood, we starting, but who's going to come off the bench to be
Larson, man? Larson, listen.
Probably Josh Richardson, to be honest.
Please, God. I said good. I said viable.
I mean, he was good at one point.
But listen,
like 2015.
When you're talking about second units versus second units, you have a little bit more leeway when it comes to you're like, listen, so do we want to go up against Boston with our best wing defender being the ghost of Jimmy Butler? Is that what we want to do?
Nikola Jovic is our best wing defender, it seems like, on the starters.
It is.
At this point, might as well.
It kind of is Bam. I mean, honestly, it is Bam.
100%. But
oh yeah.
Well, it was Bam.
Yeah, but now they have Kristaps Porzingis. So who's going to guard him? Jovic?
Yeah, he's not even playing right now. Yeah, no, I mean, these are all great questions to the point where I feel like what's going to have to happen is you're going to have to probably make a trade. Because that's part of the reason. Those guys that we need on this team, I mean, that's honestly what's going to happen.
But here's a problem. We suck at fucking trading
now.
But
Alf, to this point, we've had this conversation for 4 straight seasons.
And we've also had the trade conversation. And the fucking trade we made was giving up a fucking expiring contract and a first-round pick for Terry fucking Rozier.
How dare you? He scored 17 points today or something.
He scored
what are we doing? We watched the box score. He hit his over.
17 on, let's see, 5 for 14 shooting.
Oh my God. What an efficient day from him.
But wait, he shot 50 from 3.
They're gonna fuck up the Jimmy trade. They're going to fuck it up.
They already fucked the Jimmy trade, Alf. Jimmy should have been traded. There is no way in hell Jimmy Butler is going to bring his value up. It's impossible. It's impossible.
They'll figure out how to for Bam. They'll probably have to attach a pick to Bam with the way they're fucking dealing right now.
Another first rounder.
Bam will be a salary dump fucking with these fucking motherfuckers.
I can't be true yet because you got extended. Anyways, where I was kind of getting at is because I think one of the reasons right now that we have these conversations, and it's kind of what we were talking about earlier shows, they have a lot of similar players. just roster duplication throughout. And it's something that we've had a conversation with this team year in and year out. Like it feels like it's always the same group too. It's usually the guard rotation, and we never have like the right guards that play against each other. We always have the conversation of Duncan and Hero. They can't ever play together. And then obviously one has to come off the bench, one has to start. Like this to me has been the issue. That's like at the core of this team is that they don't have guys that can play both ends. They always have one guy that can play really well on one end, one guy that can play really well on the other end, but they can't play together ever. And I think that's always been the issue of this team, and they need to somehow glut it and get that one player if they can.
But Brian, it's like one of the other things, and like I don't know if he's watching, but Rohan Nadkarni is like in one of our chats going off right now. Like they don't make the trades for the Derek Whites, right?
Yeah,
they don't make the trades for like
Drew
good
Holiday,
NBA players. What they decide to do is like, hey, look at this fucking. Trying to say it nicely. This undrafted diamond in the rough, right? Like it's not even like a diamond. It's like a cubic zirconia in the rough. But it's our guy, and we made him. And look at this. And we don't need a professional NBA player.
I'd take Gabe Vincent right now. I mean, the Lakers aren't really playing him as much. But I fucking take him back in a heartbeat.
I'll trade him straight up for Terry.
For all the Gabe Vincent and the Caleb Martins and all this kind of shit, like they are just real. They're actually just like the Celtics going after a guy like Kristaps, a real NBA player. Like when's the last time we just went out to get a real fucking NBA player? We don't.
Rozier, I guess.
But then
they picked the wrong.
They picked the wrong guy.
Yeah,
but other teams are getting.
But they pick a guy that they know is not going to fit next to Hero to begin with, so that just makes no fucking sense.
These other teams are getting these guys for bargains.
That's true.
And
they're getting a real NBA players for bargains. We're paying top dollar for Terry Rozier.
Yep. They like to
a player like Lonzo.
They're horrible.
Lonzo's hurt again. I don't know if Lonzo's the right guy. Yeah.
I mean, but he's on a fucking expiring. Like, who gives a shit? This build is not
I mean, so is Ben Simmons. Okay.
I'll take him too, I guess.
I mean,
is his money off the books for next year? Because last I checked, Terry Rozier makes $26 million next year.
Jesus Christ.
We are already negative $30 million in the fucking cap next year. I'm not even going to get into this.
It's also weak free agent class. It's also a weak free agent class. So like,
who gives a fuck about free agency?
First of all,
Brian, people are trading first round picks, several of them, to get fucking money off their books. Like
we got no picks.
No picks.
We're sorry. We got no money.
No money. Like, Mickey's broke. The NBA is.
Man, he's been giving away a lot of merch these games at home. I don't know if you've been seeing this. I mean, also the upgrade in the arena. Did you see the statue outside? Dude, quite a bit of money.
Like I said, all their investments, bad investments, except for the screen inside. I will say that was very beautiful. But that statue wasted their money. Wade needed a statue, but that shit was ass too. Like, find the right people.
I feel like that's where we should end the show right now, honestly. Alf, I think the people want to know, what are your thoughts on that Wade statue? And let's
that motherfucker looks like more like me than it does Dwayne Wade. That's my thoughts on the statue. Like, and a lot of people are like, oh, you don't know anything about sculpting. Bitch, I know what Dwayne Wade looks like. Like, and I know what statues look like. Every racist Confederate got a statue across the fucking South, and it looks like them motherfuckers. But we can't get in 2024. We can't get a statue that looks like Dwayne Wade. And here's the other thing: sculptors, stop doing teeth. When you put teeth on a statue, it looks fucking terrible. Stop doing teeth. Stop doing super expressive faces. Like, and also like make the jawline look like the fucking person that you're sculpting. Like, and also, and then that's the other thing: don't let the motherfuckers design his own statue. Because Dwayne thinks he got the fucking jaw of fucking Buzz Lightyear somehow.
Minecraft head, bro.
Oh my God, Joe from Family Guy.
They apparently measured. Did you hear this? That they measured the distance between Wade's nose and lip.
That's such bullshit, bro.
That's how much detail they put into this. Apparently.
Did they measure the difference between this fucking jaw and this fucking jaw?
Nah,
I guess they did. I don't know. But I mean, part of the
there.
other thing I did see, or I did read about, is that like when they make these sculptures, like they make it out of clay. So obviously it looks different in clay than when they actually put it with bronze and like things to distort.
We're even doing sculptures.
But the sculptors did say that they're the best ones that could have made it by hand.
I call bullshit.
I want to counter that. Why the fuck are we still making things by hand in 2024?
Bro, I could do a 3D. I could get a 3D printer and make the best statue of Dwayne Wade you've ever fucking seen.
It'll take a month too.
It'll look
but
exactly like this fucking guy, but somehow we have to do fucking sculptures. Then we have to make excuses for the sculptors, and then fucking Dwayne Wade's talking about you have to do it different because it's in Miami and the humidity, bro. Okay, listen. Okay, stop.
The Hurricanes.
Stop.
The Hurricanes.
Oh my!
you know what he
God.
said that killed me? Oh, it's not supposed to be like me. It's supposed to be an animated version. You only say that when they fuck up the statue.
Yeah.
The statue's supposed to be like you.
Artistic rendition of everything.
Did we not see literally one day later the Ivan Rodriguez for the Texas Rangers?
Exactly like Pudge.
That was his fucking twin. That was him.
It can be done.
Dwayne got confused for Antoine Walker by my father.
But they say
I'm
it looks
sorry.
better up close. I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, if a statue don't look like you in the picture, like then we're done here. There's nothing else to fucking talk about. I shouldn't have to go see the statue. Like, oh, yeah, it kind of looks like that motherfucker. Like, if he wasn't wearing a Dwayne Wade jersey, would anybody know it was Dwayne Wade?
I don't know.
Look at the detail in the knee pads, bitch. What about the face?
The eyes.
Look,
eyes.
What do we do? Look at the detail. And he has 18 more teeth than he does in real life. It's just whatever. Carly Tiana says Cronin made the statue.
But the piece of gum, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I put a piece of big red gum in my mouth. Bitch, your mouth don't look like your mouth.
It's like
Oh,
Lawrence
man.
Fishburne's mouth.
Levitar said
Okay,
it looked
well.
like Deadpool without the mask.
I haven't heard that one. That's a new one. I haven't heard that one.
Oh man.
Yeah. Unlogical says, fuck that gum. Yes, fuck that gum. And for all you guys in the chat that I was screaming at, I'm sorry. I missed you guys. There's a huge Khalil Ware fan in the chat that I yelled at earlier. I'm sorry. I missed you guys. But you also said Khalil Ware will help with rebounding. That might be the worst rebounding 7-footer I've ever seen in my life. He don't rebound. Not in traffic.
I like when Alf says things that I see too, because it makes me, makes me not seem like the dickhead. And thank you. Thank you.
That dude does not rebound well. But you know what? It's like planting a fucking oak in front of the damn basket.
He's young. I'll give him that.